Okay, team, I'm going to run you through the demo for your session today. Today, you're going to be doing 2 blocks. Each block has 5 exercises, and you are using a time sequence of 40 seconds of work and 10 seconds of rest. You're going to do each block for 3 whole rounds through, and there will be weighted and non-weighted options. All right, so block number 1. Exercise 1 is frog squat. So you want to set up feet shoulder width apart, elbows inside the knees, pressing the knees out. Then we're going to come down into a deep squat and drive the hips up, but we're not fully straightening the legs. So keeping a slight bend in those legs as you do that. Exercise 2, you can add weight to this one if you have them at home. You're going to set up in a nice wide stance, and we're doing lateral lunges. So driving the hips back, bend your knee to one side, other leg stays straight, and then go onto the other side. And as you do this, you want to make sure your hips are going quite far back so that you can get the depth that we want here. So that's exercise 2. Exercise 3 is bear squat, step out. So you're going to set up in a bear squat, hands and knees, toes tucked under and knees off the floor. Press the floor away, step out to plank and then back in to your bear squat and then back out. So super controlled. Take this one slow. You're going to make sure you're keeping your whole body nice and still. All right, that's exercise 3. Exercise 4 is a dolphin plank. So forearms and toes. You're going to drive your hips up and then really focus on tucking the hips under as you come back to plank, then driving up. Be mindful that you don't drop the hips down and sink through the lower back. So really think about pushing the floor away. You can do these on your hands and toes to make it a little bit easier, a little bit less impact. And then exercise 5 for block number 1 is a wide glute bridge. Set your feet up outside hip width. If you have a booty band, you can add that around your knees or you can put a weight on your hips. Then driving your knees out, roll your hips up, squeeze that booty, bring it back down and tap the floor. Really focusing on that core tension, ribs down and knees driving outwards. All right, so that's block number 1. So 40 seconds on, 10 seconds off for 3 rounds. Then block number 2 is a little bit more upper body heavy. So if you have some dumbbells or weights at home, you're going to start off with a shoulder press. You can either do this standing like so, or you can drop down onto your knees, keeping the hips tucked under. You're going to press your weights overhead and then point those elbows forwards as you come back down. Really keep that core tight, ribs down and hips under. If you don't have weights, you're going to go into a polar bear press, so down dog position. Take your knees as wide as you need and bend them as much as you need. Then our elbows are bending out to the side, bringing our head towards the floor. Really hitting those shoulders. So that's exercise 1. Exercise 2, if you have some lighter weights, maybe ranging from 2 to 5 kilos, you're going to set up in a reverse fly. So bent over position, coming out to the side, squeezing your shoulder blades and keeping that core nice and tight. If you don't have weights, you're going to drop to your stomach, lift your chest off the floor, arms are in a nice T shape, and then you're going to drive your thumbs up to the sky, squeezing those shoulder blades. So really lift that chest the whole way through. So that's exercise 2. Exercise 3 is plank shoulder tap. So setting up in a high plank, you're going to tap each shoulder, keeping your core nice and tight. We want to avoid twisting our body or moving our hips. You can drop down to your your knees at any point if you need to. Exercise 4 for this block is a heel tap crunch. So when lying on our back, we're going to crunch our shoulders off the floor and then swivel side to side. So really pushing your ribs down, trying to get ribs to hips on the side. You can put your hands behind your neck for a little bit of support if you need, and still swivel side to side, aiming on your elbows going towards your hips. So that's exercise 4. Then exercise 5, if you've got some weights or one heavy weight, you're going to set up on your back, bring your weights out to the side, and then press straight through in a chest press. If you don't have weights, then you're going to do a good old push-up. So hands and toes coming down and then pressing the floor away, or you can go down to your knees as well. So that's block number 2. So 40 seconds on, 10 seconds off, 3 rounds total for both blocks, and then you'll be done. Make sure you do an awesome warm-up to get your joints ready, and make sure you cool down as well. All right, enjoy.